Hello and welcome to the Damn Good Podcast. This show is going to take you for a ride. I'm going to share what's going on in my life and insights that I find along the way. We'll talk mindset, fitness, tactics, and business strategy. The big question, what do I need to do today to get better tomorrow? Hi, I'm Dillon Mitchell, and this is the Damn Good Podcast. Guys, today I've got a small little nugget, a tiny actionable thing. And for some of you, you're not going to like it. For some of you, you're not really in the game. You're not really in entrepreneurship. You're not really committed to the game. And it's pretty simple. So there's a few things. I've been reading this book, From Impossible to Inevitable, primarily based around software as a service, SaaS companies, tech companies, and long B2B cycles. See, the big thing with SaaS and really most software in general is you're selling to enterprises, you're selling to companies and providing them a solution. With that solution, you need to know it's going to take some time. And the first thing that we need to know as entrepreneurs or people looking to start a business, do you have 24 months? Do you have 2 whole years to dedicate to the cause, to what you're going to do? The first year is really creating the product, finding market fit, all those things that kind of come with finding your niche, finding the target audience, the people who you're going to sell to, what they really are looking for, your messaging, all that type of stuff. So that's the first 12 months. The second 12 months, so year 1 is like no revenue. Year 2 is when you start to gain traction and get some real revenue. So 2 years dedicated time. And that might be on the short end of things. It could take 3 for you to get real revenue and traction. And then from there, you'll escalate up, but it's dedicating 2 whole years of your time, your effort, and being 100% committed, not side hustling. It'll take much longer if you're making it a side hustle because you're not dedicating all of your time, your effort, your mental energy to your problem, your customers, and you're not obsessed with it. Now, for me, I honestly, I've over the last week or so been struggling with this. I thought there might be an easier way, a quicker way to get sales, to get traction, to gain the validation that I needed for my software. I thought one way might be buying engineering firms, and not necessarily that I'm ruling that out, but I'm going to put that on hold for a little while. It's interesting looking at these firms, and I believe I can help. I believe I can provide a lot of value to them. But then it's taking my effort, my mind space away from my software, my company, and creating the sales cycle and processes that I need to move myself and my company forward. So for many of you, can you dedicate 2 years? Probably not getting paid for most of it or any of it. So can you dedicate 2 years? Can you give 100% of your time, effort, and energy to the company? And then ultimately, can you give it 7 to 10 years for an exit? 7 to 10 years of your life for an exit. Now, in the book I'm reading, specifically that exit primarily is an IPO. It could be acquisition. And really, it's getting to 100 million in annual recurring revenue. ARR is what they call it. But can you do those things? And I'm actually going to check real quick to make sure that I am not missing the third point here on what it is. So, great book, From Impossible to Inevitable. I'm in the later pieces of the book. But the third piece that they talk about is taking the leap, right? You've got to go all in and be committed to what you're doing, committed to that future, and not part-time in it. So really, I mean, as we talked about, you've got to give yourself 2 years, 100% effort, and just go for it? Can you commit? Can you go? Not look back, not think that there's some other way to go. Can you commit? Can you go all in? I hope you can. See, for me, it's been 2 years full time in the business, and it took me 8 months from completed exit of beta stage to first paying customer. So it's 2 years full time in the business, and then 8 months after beta was completed. So product was completed, actually like 6 months, 8 months, 6 months in. Well, we'll call it a year. Product was completed a year in, and then took another 8 months to do sales, 2 years of full cycle. And I know I'm missing a few months in there. It's really because we had to finish product. And really that took like 14, 15 months. August, like December was our launch, 8 months of sale, first sale. And then, so I'm right at the 2 year mark. And for all of you, you got to just keep going. You got to keep pushing through, because it will be worth it, and you got to keep believing in the future. So that is this episode of the Dan Good Podcast. I hope you take this actionable step. Guys, know it's going to take longer than you ever thought. I needed this for me to know that I got to look at, I'm right at the 2 year mark. I'm right on track with what the book's saying, and these people that have done multiple businesses, consulted for multiple SaaS companies, and seen it and done it for themselves. It takes time, and then it takes 7 years to get to that $100 million annual recurring revenue, which a few companies have hit sooner once they've gotten product fit, market traction. Not saying that you can't, but again, it's going to take 7 to really 10 years for the majority of companies to hit that 9-figure recurring revenue. So that is this episode of the Damn Good Podcast, and we'll see you guys here tomorrow.